Hello my gorgeous plant people, welcome back to Reading Mindfully. My name is Yana, and today I am showing you where I've gotten some of my newer plants. So let's get into it. Hey guys, so like I said, these plants I'm showing you today are my newer plants in my collection, and I do get asked questions about where I buy my plants or where I purchase specific plants. So I thought that I would go ahead and make this video so that way I can just direct you guys to this video and then make it a little bit easier as well to give you a gauge of where I like to buy plants. Now these plants were in my houseplant tour, but because I wanted to keep my houseplant tour in a nice kind of short manner, I didn't really speak on too much about it. So I just wanted to go ahead and make this video today. Now I'm going to try to go by where I purchased the plant to make it a little bit easier, and then hopefully it'll all be organized and make sense. And so the first place that I purchase plants that I always purchase plants from, well not always, but I frequently purchase plants from, is the plant farm. Now if you guys watch my videos in the past, I purchase plants from the plant farm. I get a lot of my ficus from the plant farm. And some calathea. I've gotten a lot of plants from the plant farm, but this time I saw this plant, and I had this plant before. In the past I had ordered it from an Etsy seller, and she actually sent me a really beautiful plant. However, it was just a cutting, it had no roots, and I was so upset because then I had to figure out how to root this plant, and it just did not turn out well for me. So when I saw this one, I went ahead and ordered it. But this is the Scindapsus Silver Lady, and like I said, I got this from the plant farm. It was a little pricey and was definitely one of the more expensive plants that I purchased this year. But since I hadn't been spending a lot of plants or a lot of money on plants, well I kind of did, but a lot of money on one specific plant, I felt okay buying this one. And that's what the Silver Lady looks like. It is just such a beautiful plant. I love how structured and rigid the leaves are. It's a lot more rigid than the other Scindapsus, and then the leaves are a lot more narrow and have a different patterning as well. The patterning kind of looks like a leopard or something like that. But this is just a beautiful plant, and it has been so easy going so far. And I believe it's given me this top leaf, and it's unfurling this leaf here, and then it's giving me some couple leaves. So this one has been a very easygoing plant, and like I said, I wanted that plant for a long time. I think I had actually, when I made the first purchase of that plant, I had bought it 2 years ago. So this is 2 years coming that we're doing a full circle on that plant. The second plant that I bought from the plant farm is just a Scindapsus argyrius. And you can see it's very similar to other Scindapsus. However, it has the main green with the speckling on the inside, and then it does have that rim of silver on the outside. Now if you watch my Scindapsus collection, you guys would know I had a really nice Scindapsus collection, and I had a very beautiful argyrius, a very beautiful exotica. I am rebuilding my Scindapsus collection after having a couple of mishaps, but like I said, this is the argyrius. This is the smaller leaf variety of the Scindapsus, and it's just very beautiful. I also wanted to show you guys this plant because it is curling. You can see the leaves are curling, and that's an indication that the plant needs water. And so I wanted to go and show you guys what the plant looks like when it's thirsty. But that's the other plant that I got from the plant farm. Moving right along with Scindapsus, like I said, I'm rebuilding my Scindapsus collection. This is the Scindapsus Silvery Ann, and this one's not very silvery. It's not as silver as I've seen other ones. It does have a couple that do have like the silver on the tips, and that's usually what the Silver Ann looks like. It usually has a lot of silver, like a splash of silver on the tips, and then it kind of like washes up through the leaf, if you can see that. This one's also thirsty. As you can see, the leaves are curling, so I will give this one a thorough watering. There are some that have more silver, but you can see it usually starts at the tips and then kind of brushes up through the plant. This one, I don't know if I said, but I got this from Etsy also, from the Land of Alice. I've ordered a silver lady from her before. She ships out very beautiful plants, very full plants, and they also always come in a very timely manner. So I do also like ordering from the Land of Alice. Another plant that I got from the Land of Alice is this Calathea leopardina. I saw this one in Connecticut when I went to Bark and Vine, and it was just huge. So I said, well, if I ever found one, no matter how big it was, I would just buy it because I wanted to have a big leopardina. Now there are some plants, you guys know that I don't like small plants. I usually like to buy my plants nice and full. However, there are a couple plants that I will buy in a smaller size. That's one Scindapsus, because especially the more uncommon ones, because they tend to be really pricey if you try to order it in a full pot. So usually when you try to buy like a more uncommon Scindapsus, you get a couple leaves, and that's already kind of expensive. So Scindapsus is one. And plus I buy that because I know I can take care of Scindapsus. Two, I can buy Calathea in smaller sizes because, well, depending on the Calathea, because they generally grow really well for me. They grow pretty quickly. This one's already put out 3 leaves since I've had it, and I've only had it for about a month. And I have another couple of plants that I will buy in smaller versions, but this is the Calathea leopardina, and you can see that nice patterning on this. This was in that animal print or video that I just did on my channel. I think that's all I ordered from the Land of Alice. The next one I ordered from, I've never ordered from this place before, but I've heard a lot about it. I've ordered from the Peace, Love, and Happiness Club. They have an online shop, and this is the Scindapsus Silver Splash. I also had this Scindapsus before. I ordered from Gabriella's Plants. I did not have the best experience ordering it from there, but I was able to rehab that plant. This one has already put out this leaf, and it's got this growth coming in here, so this plant is doing pretty well. Like I said, I do pretty well with buying smaller Scindapsus. I probably wouldn't spend over $100 on a Scindapsus. Matter of fact, I know I wouldn't spend over $100 on a Scindapsus, but I definitely want to buy a couple more Scindapsus in my collection. And the Silver Splash is completely different. It's more like a watercolor in the middle of the leaf. It doesn't have that edging on the outside, and so those are some of the differences that you can see. It's more of a splashy of silver, just like a light paintbrush texture, and that's the difference there. Another one I ordered from that same company, and these all need to be watered as well, is the Jade Scindapsus. Now this one doesn't look like the other Jade Scindapsus I've seen, but it is a nice plant, and it has started to grow. Now this one I do plan on snipping just so I can kind of get this to be a more full plant and not just a singular vine. But it is a very beautiful Scindapsus. The Peace, Love, and Happiness Club, they do ship out their plants very well. They come very nicely packaged. Their shipping is a little pricey in my opinion. But I think that, I don't know if they have a glitch or something on their website, because I was refunded a little bit of the shipping. So I'm not really sure about that, but they do have some nice plants on their website. I think that's all the plants that I ordered from the Peace, Love, and Happiness Club. I really just wanted to get some more of the Scindapsus in my collection. The next one I'm going to talk about we'll talk about the ones from California Tropicals. This company is also on Etsy, and I ordered the Hoya Carnosa Compacta. Again, I had one of these before, and it was a very nice plant. and so I wanted to go ahead and get it again. This is a slow growing Hoya, but it is very beautiful. I love how the leaves curl. You don't really know how much growth you have on the plant until it does pick up after a couple years, because the leaves curl. It gives the appearance of the plant growing very slow. But if the leaves were to grow a lot straighter, then it would seem like the plant would grow a little bit faster. But it's already been growing these 2 leaves here, as you can see. I did lose 2 because I did have this plant outside, but I don't know, for some reason my Hoya decided they liked it better inside than outside, and I think it's because my humidity is more controlled inside. But they started to grow once I brought them back inside. It was kind of funny. The next one I got is the variegated version of this, and this one is very expensive, especially in my area. I have actually yet to see one in person, but online these plants are very expensive, and especially they come in such a small size. It's just crazy to see how pricey they are. I would really love to have a big one of these, but I don't think I would be willing to spend $100 or so to have a full plant of this, and so this one will have to do for now. And yeah, it's just a really cute plant. Now, California Tropicals, in my experience, tends to give out a little bit of a smaller plant for the price, but they do have a nice selection of plants, so it would be up to you how much you want to spend on a certain plant. The next one I got is the Platinum Mist Peace Lily. And for some reason, I really have gotten into peace lilies. They are just such nice plants. And for the longest time, I didn't get a peace lily because people said they were so hard to take care of and they were so complicated. But this just goes to show you that you really have to try a plant for yourself before you can go ahead and pass judgment on a plant. This is the second time I'm learning this lesson. The first time was with prayer plants, but I kind of did try it before and I didn't like it, but it's just because I didn't do my own research. But the peace lily I definitely passed judgment on. I've never had owned a peace lily before I got my peace lily sensation. But these are just such nice plants. They do drink a lot of water, but I really think that they're nice plants to have in your collection. And they're just so gorgeous, and the leaves are so pretty. Now this one I feel like I could give a little bit more light to, just so I can have some of the silver coming back on the leaves. But this one is also not too picky about the lighting that it gets in my home. It is in my bedroom, so it gets a little bit lower lighting, and it's still growing very well. Another peace lily I got from California Tropicals is the Domino Peace Lily, and this one's so nice. Now the texture on this one is very interesting. It's like wilted spinach, and I don't know, I find that texture to be very interesting on plants. It just has that like corrugated, like wilted spinach. And for someone who likes texture and the differences in plants, this is one that I really like to have. I did see one a couple years ago that was a nice big size, but because again I didn't think I could take care of a peace lily, or I thought they were too much work, I didn't get it. But I'm glad I was able to find this one. It is such a nice plant. Like I said, it does drink a lot of water, but it has been very easy, at least in my experience. One that I would love to get would be a variegated peace lily sensation or a peace lily Picasso, but you know, those are a little bit harder to come by. I might have to import, but yeah. The next one I got is a Philodendron Micans. Now, I don't know what it is about Philodendron Micans that just gives me a hard time. When I first got into plants, I had a beautiful Philodendron Micans. It was huge. It was probably in a 10-inch pot, and it just trailed. Ever since that plant went to its like final resting place, because I moved, I haven't been able to grow a Philodendron Micans, and I think it's because I haven't been watering them correctly. But now that I am getting the watering right, I think I'm going to get it right with the philodendron micans. But this is the one I also got from California Tropicals. And it's nothing really anything to write home to about. This one hasn't really been growing too much, although it's been getting pretty good lighting. It's just been sitting there, just enjoying itself. I did go ahead and snap off a leaf by accident, but it will recover. It still is a very beautiful plant though. I think this was the last one that I got from California Tropicals. This is the Calathea cora, or the peacock calathea. This is just a very beautiful plant. Now when you see these mature and get bigger, they are just so beautiful. I'll have to put in a picture so you guys can see it, but you guys can see I'm getting a new leaf, and I'm so excited to see what it looks like. It looks like it's gonna have a lot of pink on there, and it just makes me very excited to see this plant. But yeah, I saw a whole bunch of these on Instagram, and Instagram did not make me buy this plant. I already wanted it before I saw it on Instagram. But sometimes when I want to see what a plant looks like before I get it, or I want to see what it looks like in its mature state, that way I can see if I have enough room for it, I'll just go on Instagram and search that plant, which is a very good idea to do, by the way. But yeah, this is a peace lily. This is a Calathea cora, and this one's a lot easier as far as crisping and getting brown tips. I haven't really had too much difficulty with that. So yeah, this one's a nice one. I knew I forgot one plant from the Peace, Love, and Happiness Club. This is the Scindapsus no ID. They said this one, I think in the description it says it's similar to the Scindapsus Silver Queen. But yeah, this is a very pretty one. This one reminds me of a Scindapsus exotica, but slightly different. And so I really can't wait to see what this one looks like once I get more leaves. But yeah, that's the Scindapsus no ID. And once I get an exotica, I'll be able to show you guys the difference between these two plants, so stay tuned for that. Or I can just make a video on my Scindapsus collection and like a Scindapsus comparison, so that way you guys can see the difference in the leaves and the shapes. And the next group that I want to show you are the ones I got from the Terrain, which is a plant nursery in my local area. Now, I told you guys that sometimes I buy plants because of one leaf, and I did it again. This is the Scindapsus silverian. As you guys know, I just had bought one from the Land of Alice, but I saw this one and I was like, I like it. And I was like, it's so cute because I bought it because of this one leaf here. Can you guys believe I bought this plant because of this one leaf? I know, it's ridiculous, but I did it. I just loved how much silver was on there and how much silver on these other ones. And these leaves are also a lot bigger on this one. So that's why I bought this plant, but I couldn't help myself. So this is the silvery, and this one also needs watering. So I'm going to go ahead and water all my Scindapsus today. And sometimes I wait till my leaves curl my Scindapsus. Sometimes I water before then. It's not always good to wait until they start to curl, but if you really need a gauge or like a second opinion kind of thing, then you could wait till they curl, but I wouldn't wait too long. The next one I got another Micans, and the reason why I got this one is just because I like the shape of this Micans. It was very whimsical, and it was growing pretty quickly, and so I went ahead and purchased this Micans, and lo and behold, I brought this one home and it already started putting on new growth. This one also needs a good watering. I noticed for Micans, they do need a little bit more watering than what we're led to believe, and so this one's been enjoying more watering. But yeah, you can also see that the leaves on this one are a lot lighter than the other one. These have more of a green and a coppery coloring to them compared to the other one, which has more of the dark leaf. So I think that's just because this one was probably grown inside, and then this one was grown outside, like under a shade cloth. So this one is probably a lot lighter because it was getting a lot more light. Another plant that I got from the terrain, you guys would have seen this, is my Homolamina selby. This is just I don't even have words for this plant. It is such a beautiful plant, and I actually thought this plant was going to be a lot harder than it was. So far, it hasn't been a hard plant at all, and I've just had it in pretty, I guess, like medium light. It's like in front of my window, but it's like on the side of a stool. So if you guys watch my houseplant tour, you can see where I have this plant. It's not in a lot of lighting at all, and it just gets like morning light, but it has been really enjoying it. It's already put out this leaf, which this leaf was under actually my Sandy light, and I'm not sure if it liked it there. The leaf is a lot lighter than the other leaves, but it is putting out another leaf here, and that one was, oh, it's actually putting out 2 leaves. So I didn't see that. It's got one growing here, so I think it can grow in bright and like medium light. And then the thing that I like about this plant is that when it needs water, it droops. This plant droops like a peace lily, and although I've never seen my peace lilies like really droop, one day I saw this plant droop and I was like, oh my gosh, I killed it. But once I watered it, it perked right back up. The leaves got really sturdy again, and so I kind of appreciate that in this plant because I've never had one before. I've never had a Homolamina before, and so now I know that this plant does like more frequent waterings like my peace lily. And then the last 2 plants I got from the terrain are these little Hoya linearis, and these are so cute. But yeah, I've had this before. The reason why I didn't do well the first time is because I suck at having hanging plants. If the plant is above my head, I will not remember to water it. And so I missed having these Hoya linearis. They were such a nice plant to have, but for the life of me, I could just not remember to water it. Now, my boyfriend said that he would remind me to water the plant, although it's not his responsibility. I am going to try really hard to remember this plant. Right now, I have it on my windowsill, so it is in like plain sight, and I have to see it when I reach my other plants, so there's no excuse so far. But when I do decide to hang it again, I will remember to water it. But it's already started putting out new growth, if you can see that, and I'm just really excited for it. This one it's starting to put out new growth, but it's so tiny you won't really be able to see it. But yeah, I'm gonna end up potting these together like that, and then I'll have a more full linearis. These were actually pretty cheap, and if you see these online, they're still kind of pricey, even though they've been out for so long, like they're toys or something, but they're still kind of pricey. So to see these as a pretty cheap price, I was very excited to get these. And so yeah, the Hoya linearis. And let's see, the next plant I got was, I got my Aglaonema chocolate back. Now I had to search high and low for this plant because I do not see Aglaonema chocolates out in like real life, like hardly ever. The only time I really saw one was when we went to Urban Jungle and my mom purchased one there, but that was even like a year or 2 ago, and I haven't seen any out since. But I was searching online for this plant, and one place that had it, I think it was Garden Goods Direct, but it was like $50, and I was like, that's kind of steep for an Aglaonema chocolate. And I think it was like a 5-inch, and then I think they had sold out too. And then the next place was this New York Greenery, but they didn't ship outside of New York, so I couldn't get it from them. But even theirs is like close to $50. And then another place, I found it on Etsy. I think it was American Plants. I was going to get 2 because they had them on sale for $27. Because I asked you guys, I was like, if I put 2 plants together, 2 6-inches together, will I have a better chance like I do with my 10-inch aglaonemas? And you guys said, yeah, that's a good idea. So that's what I was going to do. But then he sent me an email and was like, the aglaonemas are not in a place where I would want to ship them. So I was like, oh. So he refunded my money and I didn't get them. And then the one last ditch effort, I just searched aglaonema chocolate and I came across Green Millennium, who I've ordered from before, and she had, I think, 1 or a few of these, and so I ordered it, and I think this one was like $20, and I was like, that's a pretty good price. And so yeah, this is the aglaonema chocolate. When I got this, I put it right outside and it just grew so many new leaves. This leaf is new, that leaf is new. It's working on this one. It's putting out so many leaves, and I'm excited because when you buy aglaonema, I really like to buy ones that have more than 1 stem. That way your plant is more full. So this one actually has 2 plants in it, so that way I'll get more growth and a little bit faster growth. But something that's weird is I put my aglaonemas outside for the summer, and some of them are growing new stems, and so that's very exciting. So I think I'm thinking and I'm experimenting that if you put your aglaonemas in a place where they get more light, you'll start to develop more stems, which would be very good. So if you did buy an aglaonema that was smaller, if you buy them and give them more light, then you could possibly get more stems. So I want to be experimenting with that further, but I'm just so happy to have this. And I put this under one of my grow lights so that way I can make sure it's getting enough light, because I think that was the difficulty that I had before with this one, is because I had moved it. I thought about this. I moved it to the other side of my bed, and so that place isn't getting a lot of light, and the vent blows a lot of air, and aglaonemas don't like all that air. And so I think that was 2 things against that plant, and I think it just, after it bloomed vigorously, it just went downhill. So this one I'm going to be watching like a hawk. Usually I don't watch my plants like that, but this one me and this one is just going to be like, I'm going to be checking it all the time. And then last month I was watching Nick Pileggi's video, and he went to, I think it was Barlow's nursery and something else. I'm going to put the names and the websites down in the description. And he did a nursery tour of both these places. And guys, let me tell you, I was watching the nursery tour, and of course I was reading the comments like I do, because I'm a comment reader, and someone had put that the plant that he didn't know but he thought was interesting was an aglaonema peacock. And I was like, where? Someone put the timestamp in there, and I was like, yes, you are a goddess. So I clicked on that timestamp, and lo and behold, it was the aglaonema peacock. And I literally screamed when I saw this plant appear on the page. And I was just like, you have no idea what plant that is. But I was like, oh. And so I screamed. And then when my boyfriend got home, I was like, babe. And he was like, it's a plant, isn't it? I was like, but hear me out. Wait, hear me out. And he was like, whatever it is, yes. And I was like, but you didn't even let me like tell you what it is. He was like, I don't care. Whatever it is, it's fine. And I was like, okay. I was like, but let me just tell you anyway. I was like, I saw this plant that I've been wanting for the longest time, and I want to go get it this weekend. I was like, will you drive to New Jersey with me? And he was like, okay. And I was like, it's 2 hours away. And he was like, all right. And I was like, yes. So I was like so happy. We drove 2 hours to go get this plant, and I will put in a picture of it. But guys, I have been wanting this plant for the longest time, and I didn't think I was ever going to see it again after seeing it on Green Millennium's website, the one that I got, the chocolate aglaonema. She had like a 10-inch of this plant, and this plant was like 90, I think it was like 95 or $90, and I was like, that's already steep for the plant. Like, it's almost $100, and then I think her shipping was $40, and I was like, this aglaonema would cost me $130. I was like, there's no way I can spend $130 on an aglaonema. So I was just so upset, but I really wanted that plant, and I was hoping I was going to see it again. When I saw it on a video, I was like, I'm driving to New Jersey. So I drove to New Jersey, and I was like, I'm hoping that these plants are still there. Now, mind you, the way Nick's video was, I thought this plant was going to be a 6-inch plant. This plant, when I got to the store, it was like a 10-inch plant, 12-inch plant, and I'm just like, I did not think that plant was going to be that big. Like, I was misled. Maybe I wasn't paying attention to the video, but this plant was huge. And so they had about 5 or 6 of them, and I literally, like if he was here, he would tell you, I literally was there for like 10-15 minutes deciding which of the 6 that I wanted. I had them laid out. I had them side by side so I could pick, you know, how much fuller one was compared to the other, the leaf size compared. Like, it took me 15 minutes to pick this plant. He's like, all right, babe, like, you got to pick one. And I was like, well, help me. Like, do you like this one versus this one? Like, I have them side by side. And he was like, this one looks good. And I was like, because if I, you know, Velcro it together, because they were like kind of splayed out, I was like, this is what it's going to look like Velcro together. And he was like, well, this one would look better, especially if you Velcro it, and it's going to be upright. So I'll put in a picture of this plant, but I should have filmed the process of me picking out this plant, because it legit took like 15 minutes. Like, the time, it was just funny. But yeah, so I finally found one of my wish list, my dream list plants that I thought I never was going to get. And I was just so excited. But 2 other aglaonemas that I got while I was up there, this is from the other store. Oh, Bob's Garden Center was the other one. So these 2 I got from Bob's Garden Center, and this is the aglaonema frozen. Now, this is just a cool aglaonema. Now, the way this one looks, it's kind of like watercolored, and so you don't see like a distinct pattern on some of the leaves, but this is just such a pretty aglaonema. And I loved how compact and full these are. This one has like 4 stems in it, but like I said, I put these outside, and now they're growing separate stems. So I just find that to be very cool and interesting. The only thing I don't like about this one is the medium that they're potted in. For some reason, my moisture meter does not like to register if there's moisture in this kind of medium. So I will be switching it out and putting it in my own mix. But like I said, this is just such a nice aglaonema, and I didn't even know like some of these existed. I thought I would have to order from Thailand to get some of these aglaonemas, because Thailand has the most beautiful aglaonemas, and they are sold on like Etsy and eBay, but they're so expensive. And yeah, I was very excited when I saw these. The next one is the aglaonema platinum, and this one, oh my gosh, I saw this one and I was like, I must have. This has like the most silvery, like bluish tinge to the leaves. The leaves are very narrow and thin, and then it has this like kind of neon, well, not neon, but like pale yellow stripe down the center. I hope you guys can't hear Sage snoring, because he is just like, usually I'm at work during this time, but he's like enjoying the fact that I'm home, and he's deciding to sleep all day. I mean, that dog he's loving life. But This is just such a pretty aglaonema. I actually was gonna walk away and not buy this one, but then I thought that I would be nuts because I would never come across these aglaonemas ever again. Usually in my area, I only see like the silver bay. I saw the stripes, but I see like the same handful, like the sparkling Sarah. I never see these, so I felt like a fool if I didn't get these. But it also has a flower on there, which is pretty. I haven't been cutting off the blooms because they've been doing well with the blooms left on there. But yeah, this is the Aglaonema Platinum, and it's just such a pretty plant. I really enjoy it. And these ones actually have been doing well for me, even though they're on the smaller side. Like I said before, I've been struggling with having the smaller ones, but I think this summer I've really gotten a hold of it. It's just I think putting them outside just really helped me. But I think those are all of the plants that I bought. These are plants I bought last month. I think like 4 I bought this month, but I guess it is a lot of plants. I don't know, you guys will tell me because you guys always tell me if I buy a lot of plants or not. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and make this video to show you guys where I bought these plants, and just to give you guys some other ideas in case you live on the East Coast or if you order plants online. That way you guys can look around. But yeah, it's always nice to see who has nice plants, who has nice customer service, who I like to order from, because I will not order or buy plants from people who have crappy customer service. That is one of my one of the things I really hate is like when someone has terrible customer service. I won't buy from you again. But yeah, these are all companies that have pretty good customer service and that I have really enjoyed. Like I said, the Peace, Love, and Happiness Club, they did go ahead and refund my shipping without me even having to ask. And when I did ask them about it, they just responded like really quickly. So I just wanted to go ahead and talk about that. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys so much for liking and subscribing, and comment down below if you guys have gotten any new plants, or if you like any of these plants or have questions about these ones. I'm very interested to know. But as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye.